Welcome to Land of the Bible. I'm David Sussman, your personal tour guide here in the land of Israel. And in today's episode, we are going to see the fulfillment of the prophecy from Isaiah, where it says that the desert shall rejoice and bloom like the rose. How is it possible that Israel has made the desert bloom? 70% of all of Israel's agriculture comes from the Negev desert. Where does the water come from? Well, in today's episode, we are going to learn how all of the water from the Tel Aviv region, over 2 million people, is recycled, how it's used for irrigating the desert, and how we use technology like drip irrigation to conserve water and make the desert bloom. When David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, cast his gaze upon the Negev desert, he envisioned 5 million people living on its harsh soil. But where would the industry come from? The agriculture, the water? After all, it's a desert. Well, we're going to watch the process unravel, from the recycled waters of Tel Aviv to the desalination plants located along the coast of Israel. We'll meet one of the farmers in the desert, learn about the drip irrigation systems that have been developed right here, and even have the opportunity to taste some of the award-winning produce grown here in the Negev desert. One of the ways that Israel has been able to create solutions for the water shortage that had existed here for centuries is to recycle wastewater. Literally, 2.5 million people's wastewater is brought here to the Shefdan reclamation plant, where it is recycled, purified, and then used for irrigating the Negev desert. Let's learn a little bit about how that all works. So the visitor center starts off with a movie depicting a little bit about what the plant actually does. Once you watch that movie, you walk down a series of stairs and you end up in a replica of one of the sewage pipes that they use bringing all the sewage from Tel Aviv here to the Shefdan reclamation plant. And then they have these like periscopes that you can look into, and it has short movies about all the benefits that Shefdan gives to the environment, to Israel, and into the world in general. The visitor center ends with this great model you can see behind me, as well as a movie that explains the process of purification from raw sewage to purified water. Let's now meet one of the experts here at the Shefdan reclamation plant to learn about the process firsthand. We're now joined by one of the engineers here at the Shefdan reclamation plant, Mr. Gal Shoham. Gal, thank you for joining us today.
Please be my guest.
So let me ask you an obvious question. How did this all begin?
Everything was starting by the vision of Mr. Ben-Gurion, that was our first prime minister. He understands, if we would like to build the borders to our country, we need agriculture. If we need agriculture, we need water. So Mekorot, the National Water Company, make different sources for irrigation water. One of them, it's reclaimed water that's coming with raw sewage. That gives us option to supply water to every square meters in our country. For example, if we compare it to our neighbors, for example, the Egyptians, that 90% of the population live beside the Nile because they don't know how to take water from one place to another. That's one thing that we know to do it very well.
Wow, incredible. Water management is so important.
It is.
So, what is this stage that we're looking at now?
Here, everything is started. That's the pre-treatment. We take all the raw sewage and we remove the oil, the scum, and the fats. By special bar screens, they know to remove out all the heavy solids that coming with the raw sewage.
And then where does the sewage go from here?
From here, straight to the biological reactor that we're going to visit soon.
Let's go there now.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Wow, incredible, Gal. So after all the solid matter is removed and it's just a liquid, it's brought to this station. But I have to tell you, it still smells awful. What's taking place here?
First of all, please relax. I will promise you that in the end of the process, you don't feel any smell.
I hope so.
I promise you. Because our bacteria know to do the work. They will eat all the pollution that coming with the raw sewage. I help them with the oxygen that I supply to them by the aerator so you can see down of these bridges. So the raw sewage arriving from the pre-treatment, they meet here the bacteria, we supply to the bacteria the oxygen, and we did the work. We take a natural process and we do it here much faster, and we got wonderful effluent in the end of the day.
So let me just repeat that. Over here, what you're doing is you're introducing natural bacteria to the water. You give oxygen to the water, which helps the bacteria eat the pollution from the water. And then you're left with this thing called effluent. What is this effluent?
Let me show you what it is.
All
Please
right.
follow me.
Let's go.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
Gal, we're standing above this pool of effluent, but I still don't quite understand exactly what this liquid is.
That's effluent. Effluent is our secondary stage. After the bacteria taking care for the pollution at the biological reactor, we got this effluent. Very good quality of water, but it's good for limited irrigation.
So it's good for limited irrigation. What kind of crops can you irrigate with effluent?
For example, cotton fields, most of this water arrives to the cotton fields or another crops that we don't eat.
I understand. So if you want to purify even further so you can have unlimited irrigation, what's the next step?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. We have a unique process that's called SAT. Here in Israel, we recharge the effluent to the ground on the dune of the sand between Rishon LeZion and Ashdod. We got a wonderful demonstration here. Let me take you to and I show you how we made it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Please, let's go.
Gal, I want to give you and the other scientists here a round of applause because what you are doing is absolutely unbelievable. Let me just recap for my viewers at home so that we really understand what's happening here at the Chef Don Reclamation Plant. All of the sewage from Tel Aviv and the surrounding areas, roughly 2.5 million people, is brought here. It then has a preliminary cleansing where all the solid matter is taken out, and then the liquid that's left over is introduced to bacteria, which organically eats the pollutants inside. It does such a good job that after 15 hours, you have a high quality water known as effluent. However, this effluent is now cleaned even further. It begins in this clarifier over here, this pool, where the effluent and the bacteria separates. And if you can see on the model, there's like this big cone. It's roughly 18 feet deep. The effluent drops to the bottom where it's scooped out. 90% of that bacteria is used again to eat more pollutants. The other 10% is then pumped into this facility and turned into fertilizer. The fertilizer is then trucked into the Negev and used in the agricultural fields there. Now, the effluent is pumped out and brought to these basins on top of sand dunes where it sinks or drips into the sand and sinks all the way down to the coastal aquifer, roughly 600 feet below in the earth. And then it's pumped out again and used as reclaimed water to irrigate all of the agricultural settlements in the Negev desert. Absolutely unbelievable. Gal, thank you so much for all of your time. We really appreciate everything you're doing here.
You're welcome.
And for the rest of you, stay tuned because we're going to continue to learn more about how Israel irrigates the Negev desert. Another way that Israel is combating the water shortage that exists here in the Middle East is through desalination. And Israel is at the forefront of this industry. Desalination can take place from two sources. One is either by pumping out the water from the sea, removing the salt and various minerals so that you have clean water that's usable for drinking. And a second way is by pumping out brackish water from the ground. Now, brackish water has a slight salinity rate to it, not as high as seawater, but too high for human consumption and too high for most crops to grow in. This brackish water is brought to a plant like we're standing in now to be desalinated. All desalinated water runs through the same process. It is pumped with a high-pressured pump through these cylinders you can see to my left, removing the salts and various minerals so that you have purified water at the other end. And this process is done twice to ensure that we get the most purified water from our brackish water. Let's now learn more about this center by meeting one of their employees. We're now joined by Galit Sasson, one of the processing engineers here at the Granot desalination plant. Galit, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, of course.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the project here in Granot?
Yes, this desalination plant was established part of a national project. We have a natural salinity stain contaminating the water at the eastern part of the coastal aquifer. The natural gradient of the water moves the water from the east to the west. If we don't stop this contamination stain, it will contaminate the whole coastal aquifer, which is a very important and big underground water reservoir in Israel. So what we did is we drilled a row of wells at the western part of the stain, and by that we are pumping it continuously and preventing the water moving to the west. So if we are producing here in this desalination plant 30 million meter cubes per year, we're actually saving 70 million meter cubes more from being contaminated at the coastal aquifer.
Wow, so in reality, this plant is giving Israel 100 million cubits of water.
Yes, we are.
So tell me, all of this technology we have here in Israel, which is allowing us to make our Negev desert bloom, are we sharing that with the rest of the world?
Well, there is a great interest here in Granot desalination plant. We have delegations from all over the world, east and west. I think people are very interested in the creativity of this national project and want to know how they can implement it in their countries in this water shortage environment that there is worldwide.
Wow, incredible. I have just been fascinated all day by everything that Israel is doing to ensure that we have a bright future. Galit, thank you so much for joining us and best of luck.
Welcome, of course.
Folks, now that we've learned about the sources of water that is irrigating the Negev desert here in Israel, let's visit one of those farms and see the water being put to work.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
We're now in the western Negev, and as you can see, the soil here is literally just sand. We're about to meet Uri Alon, who's a pioneer in the field of desert agriculture. And he's gonna tell us how Israel has turned this sand dune into a gold mine, a multi-million-dollar industry. Uri, thank you so much for joining us today on Land of the Bible. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your background, and how it is that you came to be a farmer.
Thank you. I born in the center of Israel, and in the age 18 I joined the army, go to the Navy, and became to be a captain of a military boat. For 20 years I protect the Israeli coast from terrorists, some of them in duty, some of them in reserve. Then I go to learn in the Hebrew University agriculture and became to be professional of plant disease. Then I decide to go to serve in the desert. I came here after the dream of Ben-Gurion, our first leader, the dream to make the desert bloom. So I came here, get the land from the government, about 15 acres, and start to work in the field. Later I start to guide farmers in the area and in the world. And about 13 years ago, I changed my way, and instead to go to the world, I bring the world here and show them how you can change desert to oasis.
Incredible. So you have tourists from all around the world who visit you, and is your goal to teach them how to farm, or do you have another goal in mind?
Some of the tourists are professional farmers, but very few of them. Most of them just regular tourists that came here to see how we can grow unique variety in the desert. But my main goal is to show them how is your dream, and you can take a desert and take unique Israeli develop, like the cherry tomato, and with sewage water make this heaven, like in a minute you go to taste.
Let's go taste some of those vegetables now.
Let's do it.
Uri, tell me a little bit about these tomatoes that we're looking at here.
This tomato, it's called cherry tomato, and it's developed in Israel. In the beginning, it's called TV tomato. When you eat it, when you watch TV.
Like eating popcorn.
Yes, but more healthy.
Yeah.
And this is a blonde tomato. It's called Somerset, and it's developed here. The taste is wonderful. You should try it, believe me.
Oh my God. That is phenomenal.
I want to show you another variety. This is called Tamari Lev Adom. It's a win in the Israeli championship of flavor of tomato. Different taste, you should try it.
So in English, this would be called a date tomato, date cherry tomato. Looks like a date.
And the flavor is quite different. We have also, it's wow tomato, a redhead tomato.
Now this one's orange.
Yes. And this called a Russian doll tomato.
Looks like a Russian doll.
Yes.
And open it up, there's another one inside.
No, but the taste is wonderful, yes. And we have also unique cherry tomato for pasta sauce. This called San Marzano tomato. A little bit more sour, and it's fit for the pasta sauce.
Perfect for pasta.
Perfect for pasta. The Italian do only from this tomato.
Oh,
from
yeah?
San Marzano tomato, only this fit for the pasta sauce.
Do we export to Italy?
We bring from them the first seed, improve it, and sell it back to them. This is the Israeli brain.
This is the Israeli way.
Yes.
Wow, this is incredible. Ori, let's take a look at some of the other produce that you have growing here on the farm.
Okay, let's go to the carrot field.
All right, sounds good.
Let's go. We are now in the field of the carrot. You see, we can grow different colors of the carrot. The original one is the white, like you see here.
Mm-hmm.
It's born in Afghanistan. In the 19th century, the Queen of Holland liked the color orange because she is from Orange family and bring this mutation from Afghanistan. And now all over the world think that the original color is orange, but we have 4 different colors that we can grow here in the desert.
Very interesting. And I notice here in the field that there are a lot of hoses lying around. Is that the special drip irrigation that was invented by Israel?
Yes, this is the drip irrigation that we use here. It's not just a hole in a pipe, it's very complicated hole. Inside this special filter that makes sure that you have only clean water go outside from this hole, and it can save about 70% of the water that we use.
Wow, that is incredible. Do you have something here on your farm that's totally different than anything we've seen so far?
I think we need to go to the strawberry field forever.
All right, let's head out
go.
there. Wow, this smells unbelievable.
Yes, we are in the strawberry field, and even this fruit is very healthy. We grow them in special bedding that done from coconut shell.
Really, like this coconut shell here?
Yes, this bag that you can see here, we bring from Sri Lanka.
Uh-huh.
And we plant the strawberry in the beginning of the season in this coconut. We put inside this tube a drip irrigation, the dripper, and the rest of the water that the plant don't use, we recycling it.
Wow.
Instead that it go to the underground, we can recycling the water. It's very friendly for the environment.
Always thinking about water conservation.
And on the environment.
And on
also.
the environment. Can I try one?
Yes, please, be my guest.
Wow.
How was it? Without any spraying.
Wow, that is juicy.
Yes.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Uri. We really appreciate your time and everything that you've shown us here today. You're doing an unbelievable job, you and the rest of Israel.
I hope a lot of visitors, thanks to your show, come and visit and taste all these wonderful things that we can grow in the desert.
Let's continue as we learn more about desert agriculture.
There are moments in life that define you and leave you forever transformed. Like a once-in-a-lifetime journey to the source of your faith. Walk in the steps of Jesus and experience history beyond its words. Sail the ancient Sea of Galilee to the holy shores of the River Jordan. Your journey begins here.
If you're looking for accommodations while traveling through the Negev, there are many options to fit any budget, from the exclusive 5-star resort of Bereshit and Mitzpeh Ramon to a kibbutz like the one here in Gvulot. I really enjoy staying at a kibbutz. You really get a feel for kibbutz life and a part of Israeli culture. But beyond that, with all these lawns, trees, and flowers, it's easy to forget that we're in the middle of a desert. I love a pioneer's dream coming true, and you find that here at Meshech Zone the sheep farm. It started with humble beginnings back in 1967 when a young idealistic couple decided to homestead this land when there was only one tree growing on it. In fact, they even lived in a school bus converted into their home for the first several years. But today, it is a modern farm growing potatoes and barley while raising sheep. They offer a variety of cheeses that are made on the premises, as well as other local products. In addition, you can take a tour of the farm and learn about desert agriculture and raising sheep in the desert. Or, if you want, come to the restaurant and enjoy a light meal. Stay tuned as we continue. Join us next time on Land of the Bible as we explore the ancient biblical city of Beersheba, which today is rich with modern museums such as the Science Park, the Israeli Air Force Museum, as well as biblical archaeology. In fact, we will visit ancient Beersheba and see a well that was dug out thousands of years ago and may have been the very well that Abraham himself dug. A great way to end a long day of touring the Negev and learning about desert agriculture is to enjoy a great meal of food that's grown and raised here. Remember, I'm David Sussman, your personal tour guide here in the land of Israel. Make sure to join us next time as we connect you to the people, places, and land of the Bible.